Hi, I'm Sheridan Webb, founder of the Training Designers Club, and I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you what it's all about, who it's for, and how it can help you, whether you're new to training design, whether you're highly experienced, or even if designing training only takes up a small part of your role. Well, let's start with what is it? On the one hand, it's a development hub for L&D professionals. That's because there are online courses, practical video tips, how-to guides, ebooks and webinars all aimed at developing your training design skills. There are also lots of resources such as handouts, exercises, templates, questionnaires that will help you design training more quickly and easily and refresh your ideas. Now, it's different to professional bodies like the CIPD or the LPI. They tend to focus on policy and strategy, and it's all quite big picture stuff. They don't help you to design an engaging and impactful session that you need to deliver in 3 weeks' time. That's what the Training Designers Club does. We're all about rolling up our sleeves, getting stuck in, creating great L&D and learning at the same time. So on the one hand, it's a development hub for L&D professionals. On the other hand, it's a supportive and agile community of practice because there's an opportunity to meet every single week with other L&D professionals to discuss good practice, share new ideas and get feedback and advice on real-world challenges in our designer drop-in sessions. We also have monthly lunch and learn sessions, which are more formal personal development sessions. Plus, there's an opportunity for coaches to catch up and share good practice each month. And let's not forget the very active and generous communities on Facebook and WhatsApp who chat every single day about what they're working on and share resources very generously. So this means that you never have to face a training design challenge on your own. So who is it for? Well, it's tempting to say it's for any L&D professional who gets involved in the creation of learning solutions, especially live ones. We're not programmers, we're not experts on things like Articulate. We tend to focus more on the actual live L&D solutions, although there is a little bit, obviously, of standalone learning that we do get involved in. But it's particularly useful for lone L&D managers, for HR managers who have to pick up L&D as part of their role, or for freelance training consultants. As the Training Designers Club can act as your virtual L&D team and resource bank. So although we started with a very definite focus on good practice in learning design, we now cover a much wider remit, and we can't disentangle the design from the delivery, from the ongoing strategy, from the curation, and it all tends to get rolled up into one. And really, there's nothing that's L&D related that's off limits. So in many ways, we ought to be known as the virtual L&D team rather than the Training Designers Club. So how does being a VIP member help? Well, it can help in lots of ways. One, by saving time. One thing most of our members have in common is they are incredibly busy. And when you're busy facilitating or coaching, you haven't got the luxury of time to look around, to plan, to research new ideas. So it can save a whole lot of time when you put something in the group and say, I'm working on this, can anybody send me some resources? And 12 things get sent to you that very same day. So it's a massive time saver. It's also a great way to spark new ideas, because when we work on our own, we tend to get siloed and we tend to get blinkered and we tend to do what we've always done. So to have the opportunity to mix with other people who perhaps work in a different background can really open up our thinking and open our eyes to lots of other options that we perhaps wouldn't have thought of. It allows you to grow your resources. Yes, there are resources in the members area, which I add to, but also members share resources between themselves. It's incredibly generous and it's very much a caring and sharing community. If you need something and somebody's got it, they will, if they can, share it with you. It allows you to refresh your solutions. Perhaps you've been running the same program for a number of years and it's starting to feel a little bit tired. Or perhaps You often have to run training for the same people. If you work for a relatively small organisation, this might be the 8th time you've trained them this year, and you've kind of used up all your bag of tricks. So where do you get something new from? Well, you can get it from the Training Designers Club. The VIP members can help you to see the wood for the trees. What tends to happen is specialists or people working on their own get very, very blinkered. We get very close to our subject. We get very protective about it, and we can end up going down rabbit holes. Having a fresh perspective, having a new pair of eyes can really make the difference between something getting lost, being a bit of an overkill maybe, and delivering something which is really, really effective and gets to the point straight away. It provides you with a safe space to try things out. In March 2020, when COVID hit Britain in particular, and we all had to go virtual, very few people knew how to deliver virtual training. Well, having that safe space to try really helped our members adapt quickly and get the confidence they needed to go out there and run virtual training. But it's not just about big changes like that. It may be, I want to check that this exercise is going to work, or I want to try a new virtual tool. Can someone just pop on for 10 minutes and help me work out how to do X, Y, Z? It's much better to do that in a safe environment than it is in a live training situation. It can introduce you to new content so that you are always up to date. It would be lovely if we could say, yes, well, we are the models of personal development working in L&D, but like everybody else, we're busy too. And with the best will in the world, we don't always prioritise our own development. However, there are loads of opportunities for us to develop in the flow of work. And being in a community like this means that we are constantly exposed to new articles, new exercises, new websites, new models, and we can just be aware of them. And then our interest is piqued, we know they exist, we can sort of curate them, and we can go back to them in our own time. And it's that little and often development that can make a massive difference. It enables you to benchmark yourself. If you work for yourself, how do you know how good you are? You've got no idea what anyone else is doing. And if you believe all the marketing messages out there, it's very easy to think that you're behind the curve. And spoiler alert, most people are pretty much where you are as well. So being able to benchmark yourself against other L&D professionals, you will be able to share some areas where you're perhaps a little bit ahead, but also develop from the expertise of others who are a little bit ahead of you. And finally, being a VIP member helps you to get really useful feedback on your sessions. You will get an honest, constructive view. If you're thinking of running something for the first time, or you're in the planning stage, or you want to put a proposal together, this really helpful community will tell you what's good about it, perhaps what you've missed, and give you suggestions for improvement, because we all just want to create the best L&D that we can. But don't just take my word for it. Bryony is the entire L&D department in a recruitment firm.
Hello, my name's Bryony and I head up learning and development for a recruitment firm. I'm the only person on the team who's got a learning and development background, and a large part of my job is creating training programmes that are delivered both by myself and by other members of the team. I massively value my VIP membership with the Training Designers Club for a variety of different reasons. I use them as my virtual team of learning and development professionals, so use them to help act as a sounding board and a safe place to try things out. And also to help generate ideas. I've literally just come off our designers drop-in for this week. We spent about 15-20 minutes even talking about a few things that I'm designing, and lots of ideas and resources were thrown my way, which just makes things a lot easier moving forwards. I consider it a massive time saver, but also a really good social connection to people who are kind of like-minded and working in the same field. I fund my membership myself. I think it's worth every single penny that I pay for it, and I would highly recommend it.
Stephanie is an HR manager who has to pick up learning and development as part of her role.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I work in a manufacturing organisation in the North East. We are currently in the process of improving L&D on site, which has meant a much more formal approach to training. By joining this team, I have learned lots of tips that help me by designing material and delivering it. I try to get to as many of the drop-ins as I can, even if I don't need help with a project, as I always come away with a tip or an idea. It's great being part of a friendly community where you can try your material before a live audience or ask the WhatsApp team for their ideas. 6 months in, and I feel as though I'm starting to contribute to some of these sessions rather than sitting in the background quietly. The material on the website has definitely been a game changer for me, and access to the discounted power hours has already saved me lots and lots of stress in generating material. I'm self-funding this, but I actually don't mind because I think it's the best money I've ever spent on my own development by far, and will be re-enrolling next year.
And Susie runs her own training consultancy and really values being part of the VIP group.
Hi, I'm Susie Parker from New Hat Thinking, and I've been a member of the Training Design Club VIP group for quite some time. What's the value to me? Well, it certainly got me through lockdown and helped me make that initially scary transition from face-to-face to virtual. But much more than that, the diversity of thought and experience that's in the group is amazing. Several times have I been struggling with design or content. I put something out on the chat, and the depth and the breadth of all these amazing ideas that come through are truly transformational. Its return on investment has paid for itself many times over.
So if this sounds like something that would be useful to you, do become a VIP member. You can pay monthly or annually, which works out a little bit cheaper as you get 12 months for the price of 10. All you have to do is click on Become a Member on the website, and I look forward to welcoming you to our development hub and community.